Hello everyone, I've got a meaningful work success story for you, and it's from Julia in Sydney, Australia, and it goes like this. Here's something a little different to SPs and relationship success stories for your channel, and yes, I am in disbelief that I'm writing yet another new job success story for you. Once again, I managed to manifest a new job and do some cool, creative and meaningful work in my role. Even though I'm not really new to the world of LOA, the journey attracting this new job was not an easy one, and there were a lot of ups and downs during this process. So the story goes like this. For those viewers that know me and have been following my continual LOA journey that I've shared on Agnes's channel thus far, you may remember that I submitted a job success story back in June of 2021. Exactly a whole year ago. This job was a designer desktop publishing role and a great opportunity with a company that at the time had recently opened a new location in my city. It was paying 25% more than my previous role and did have some great benefits. Unfortunately, I was only in this new job for 5 weeks before the second COVID lockdown struck in Sydney. Due to this, the company was unable to operate due to its classification as a non-essential service, and therefore we had to temporarily cease trading. This meant that 90% of the staff, including myself, were forced to be stood down for a very long time. Thankfully, I had access to government assistance payments for several months, and I was able to continue working at my trusty supermarket job simultaneously. So if anything, I was making more money during this period of time. Unfortunately, I came to realize that I wanted to break away from that specific industry and needed to be in a job that was more stable and secure. So if a lockdown was to occur once again, my job would not be affected. Even though I'm still living at home and I don't have to worry about paying rent, groceries and bills, I still had the life goals that I wanted to achieve in the near future. And for that, I really needed to have a steady income. So as time went on, I also realized that I did not like some of the company's values and that it had more negatives than positives to offer me. In the end, I ultimately made the decision to look for a new job in December of 2021, hoping to end my contract and begin my next role in the new year. For the next few months, I applied for numerous jobs and I began the process back to square one, applying for a whole heap of jobs with my newly updated portfolio I had made. I had made it to the interview stage for a few roles, but sadly none of them had eventuated into a job offer. I was rejected, and email after email of rejections, and constantly being told no, no, no was a big stab in the guts, to say the least. Thankfully, it was summer in Australia, and at the time, I got to enjoy another summer off again with my family and my boyfriend, even though we had a crappy weather the majority of the time. Weeks went by, and it was getting to the point where I was constantly exhausted and so sick and tired of hearing the generic, "Sorry, we found other candidates that are a better fit" line. I remember writing a script in my journal that said, "I'm happy and grateful now that I attract a new job in a great company, close location, can preferably work from home, great pay, an awesome boss and colleagues, that I do creative and meaningful work." I read it a few times and then I put it away. As I did my previous job success story, I listened to job meditations, did affirmations, and constantly repeated to myself, "The new job is here." I vividly remember speaking with my mum in the kitchen, and I was telling her how I was so frustrated and angry that I wasn't getting anywhere, and threw my hands up and said, "F this. How hard is it for me to find a secure job where I have the option to work from home, close location, great pay, an awesome boss and colleagues, and a good company with great values?" In March, I was put in touch with a reputable freelance designer through my family friend, and I sent her my portfolio and told her I was looking for work. After having a chat about my skills and career goals, she informed me that my portfolio needed improving because it wasn't good enough, and that's why I wasn't getting anywhere. This made me feel really down, but at the same time, glad that I heard it. It made me realize that this was a classic situation of everyone is you pushed out, because I had some lingering beliefs that my work wasn't good enough and really questioned my career choices and doubted my skills and talents. I did some surrender and letting go and Ho'oponopono to clear this out of my head, and I kept repeating in my head, as I did last year, I am good enough. I am chosen, I'm the one, I'm first best, the new job is finally here. And I also listened to the new Meaningful Work and Supportive Workplace Rampage as well. I'll put the link down below for those of you that want to check that out. What happened next seemed like there was light at the end of the tunnel. It was now April. I got a call from a marketing communications firm for a graphic designer position that I had applied for and went through a telephone screening. And I was told that people all over Australia and even some from overseas applied, and that my application was one of the 10 shortlisted from over 300 applicants. An amazing achievement in itself. I progressed to the virtual interview where the creative director and I had a casual chat, and he said to me that he saw me fitting in with the team, and I asked if I would be up to doing a design test and then meeting the team in person. I successfully completed the design test, and then the following week went into a in-person interview. They told me that my design submission was very strong and that I was one of the standouts. It was an interesting and refreshing interview at the same time. I was asked a range of personality questions, which included my star sign, my favorite movies and TV shows I watch, and even my go-to karaoke song. It was nice to see that a company really cared about their team and didn't put so much emphasis on the experience and skills. It seemed like I would be a great fit for the team, and this job had ticked all my boxes. All seemed to be going well, but sadly I never heard back from the company, even though I sent a follow-up email to them after the Easter break. I was extremely gutted and devastated. I really had the feeling that this was going to be the job, and unfortunately it didn't manifest. I couldn't understand what went wrong. I thought the universe was playing this cruel trick on me. My boyfriend's mum, whom I'm very close with, said to me, that goes to show what kind of company they are if they couldn't even provide you the decency and respect to get back to you and let you know that the role had already been filled. She was right. I had to pick myself up again and kept persisting, even though I was sick and tired of the process. I was so stressed, upset, and was stuck in a rut. I was fed up with sitting around at home and also not being offered a lot of shifts at my supermarket and earning much money, which didn't help either. So I made the decision to join my younger sister at her workplace for the time being. Looking back, I am so glad that I did, because it actually took my mind off the job search, and it was good. And it was a good way to surrender and let go for a little while. And yes, it seems like your supportive workplace rampage worked, because all the managers and people that I work with are super nice, friendly, and are most certainly my flock, even better than my previous supermarket job. Then, in May, while I was going for a beachside walk with my friend, I unexpectedly got a call from a well-known homewares brand in Sydney asking me if I could come in for an interview. I had a few days to prepare and went into the interview with no expectations, and it turned out that the managers were really impressed with me and my experience, and subsequently asked me to come in the following week for a 3-hour design trial. I made sure to practice my design skills with Photoshop, and on the drive there, some of the affirmations I said to myself consisted of: I am skilled and talented, I am enough, I am first best, the new job is here. And upon my arrival, I was given a list of tasks to complete, and after the 3 hours were up, I did not finish all the tasks. I felt so disappointed in myself and walked away from the trial with a sinking feeling and not 100% confident with my work. I had no idea who or what I was going up against, and that caused me to feel a little nervous, anxious, and not good enough. I remember messaging you, Agnes, about how the day went, and you said to me that we can only do our best, and for me to say to myself, I belong here, when I thought about the workplace. I allowed myself to feel those unpleasant emotions of not feeling good enough or worthy, and used Ho'oponopono to clear those out of my system. In the shower, I said to myself, the new job is finally here. I am first best, I have great skills and talents, and I replicated the feeling of hearing the good news that I got the job. Later that week, I got the call and was asked to come the following week and do a paid day's work of training, and then it turned into a week's worth of work, and then that Friday I was told that I would actually officially going to be starting on Monday. Woohoo! The job search was finally over, and I felt so incredibly happy and relieved. The job is even closer to home than my previous one. Within drivable distance, I'm working with a good boss, a like-minded and a culturally diverse team, and I get to do creative and meaningful work that is being showcased to a big audience. Although my new job didn't 100% match my script, I still was so grateful that this opportunity had landed on my lap when I least expected it. I left it to the hands of God and the universe to bring me the best match. So, my dear Spiritual Awake viewers, here are your key takeaways from this story. Number one, it is okay to sometimes feel upset and doubtful during the process. Every single email rejection would leave me feeling a bit hopeless, and I honestly did feel doubt about my career choice and if it was the right decision. I would hop on my LinkedIn and my news feed would be filled with new job posts from people, and that put a bit of a dampener on my spirit. I allowed myself to react a little bit to the 3D, but always went to my blanket affirmations. Everything is working out for me in my favor, and all will fall into place in the right timing. Number two, just because nothing is happening in real life doesn't mean that God, universe, source isn't working in the background. I remember coming across a quote on Instagram, and now looking back, it was God's way of reminding me that something was coming on the horizon soon, and to continue keeping the faith and believing that the job was nearing. Number three, distract yourself and keep busy. Even if it means you start a casual position that's not your dream job. I am glad that I began a new casual role with my sister that took my mind off my full-time job search. And now I'm glad that I began there because the people I work with are so cool and so awesome to work with. I have a new second job now where I can help out for a couple of hours during the week and earn some extra pocket money while saving my full-time wage. Number four, for anyone that has been practicing law of attraction for a little while, your own understanding and knowledge will really challenge and test you. Yes, I'm not new to LOA, but this situation really tested my skills and mental diet and my resilience to bounce back from unwanted events happening in front of me in the 3D. If I fell off, I always ensured I practiced Ho'oponopono and went back to my blanket affirmations. Even for us seasoned manifestors, sometimes things hit us in the raw pink nerve and we need to allow some time to regroup, take a few deep breaths in and out, and keep going. I hope this story brings some hope to anyone who is currently in the position that I was once in, and please know that the best matching job is most certainly out there for you. You can do it, and let the magic unfold. Love, Julia. The end. Beautiful. Now, Julia has done some other interviews with me, and I've read out some of her other success stories. I'll put the links to those down below for those of you that would like to check out what else she's done. And I'm going to put the Dream Job Success Stories playlist and the playlist that has meditations for Dream Job for you down below as well, so you can go and check that out. and get some support and get some positive focus on what you want rather than looking at what you haven't got and what you don't want. So hope that helps everyone. Thank you, Julia, for sending it in, and I will be interviewing Julia at some point soon. Lots of love, everyone, and I'm going to make a fresh juice now, so I will see you in the next YouTube.